Beautiful afternoon in Cincinnati. You still got time to get out and see most of this twin bill as the Reds do battle with Montreal. And, Joe, how about the traditional doubleheader saying?
Well, you can't win two if you don't win the first one. Very simple, isn't it?
That's outstanding. Well, it's proven to be a good luck charm before for the Reds, and let's hope that'll be the case today. Davy Cash, he will open it up for the men of Dick Williams, leadoff batter and Montreal's second baseman, hitting .287. Right-handed batter, Zachry, hoping to begin a turnaround here this afternoon. He has had some kind of rough go of it. The pitch is over on the inside for a called strike, and game one is underway. Cash to be followed by Speier, their shortstop, and their right fielder, Valentine. He swings and bounces by the mound. Morgan to his right, fields and throws. One out. Davy Cash bouncing out to Joe Morgan, and quickly we'll be taking our first look of the afternoon at shortstop Chris Speier. Reds find themselves 9 games again back of the Dodgers with our loss here last night, and L.A. having to fight off that Cardinal ball club. At one time, the Dodgers led 7-0, and the final result was a 9-8 Los Angeles win. They had some fireworks in that game, I'll tell you. Here's Speier. He tries to bunt his way aboard and fouls it off. Chris, with a batting average of .246, has homered once, has knocked in 8 runs. Now, that .246 batting average is his collective stats with the Expos and previously the Giants, but with Montreal batting .252. He takes a pitch in there for a strike, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Valentine on deck, the outfield shading Speier, a right-handed batter, to hit the other way. He swings and pops it up around the plate. Johnny Bench off with a mask, foul territory. Got it. 2 out. As Valentine comes to the plate, we'll check out the Reds defensively. At first, Driessen; at second, Morgan. At shortstop, Concepcion; and at third base, Pete Rose. In left field, George Foster. In center, Cesar Geronimo, and in right field, Ken Griffey. Again, the first game battery, Johnny Bench catching the pitches of right-hander Pat Zachry. 2 down. As Cash has grounded to second and Speier has popped up to bench. Valentine batting .321. He's 4 for 8 in this series with an RBI. Takes the pitch down, ball 1. Eric Gregg, our plate umpire. Jim Quick at first base, Satch Davidson at second, and Ed Bargo at third. That pitch, breaking ball missing, and Johnny Bench not exactly in agreement with the former Pacific Coast League umpire. 2 balls and no strikes. Kneeling in the on-deck circle, first baseman Tony Perez. Now Valentine, a right-hand hitter, stepping away from the plate. He's homered 9 times. He leads the club in that power category. And is second in runs batted in with 28. Perez leads the club with 35. Grounded over the mound. That ball will go to center field. Zachry, the only one who had a chance to play it, as it took a hop and bounded directly over his head and on up the middle for a base hit. So Perez, who still gets the warm greeting here in Cincinnati. It started Friday night, and it didn't take this guy long to burn his former ball club. He tripled 2 runs over in the first inning last night and doubled across 2 more in the 5th. He knocked in 4 of Montreal's 6 runs. The pitch to the plate, cut on and fouled off the end of the bat. Tony batting .287. 2 hits, 6 times up in the 2 games played thus far. Zachry into his stretch as Valentine has a short lead over at first base. He pitches to Perez, and Tony swings at a pitch away and does not get it. Strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. Zachry a pitch away from ending this Montreal first inning as he sight benches sign. He straightens up and works, and Perez takes the fastball away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Warren Cromartie, their rookie left fielder, would be up next. Zachry with a pitch, and Perez with a grounder to second. Morgan's play will go to first. There's Driessen, and that's it for Perez. No runs, a hit, no errors. They leave a man, and at the end of a half inning of play in the Sunday afternoon doubleheader in Cincinnati, it is the Expos nothing, and the Reds are coming to bat. We're in the bottom of the first inning, and the Reds will be batting off of a man who many consider right now to be the best pitcher in the National League, Steve Rogers. And, Joe, you look at his stats, and I guess when you hear someone say that and look at his numbers, you, without having seen him pitch, almost have to agree with it sight unseen.
You better believe it. The league has some tremendous stats to this point, and I think really Steve Rogers has been an impressive young man since he came into the league. We can go back to recalling seeing him pitch on a game of the week a couple of years ago against the Dodgers, and everyone was very impressed with his stuff, his fastball and his sinking fastball, good curveball. But the word is that he's throwing much harder this year, and why? I guess we should find out. But they say his fastball is much better this year than it has been in the past.
Well, we'll get a first-hand look at him right now. He's 8-4 with a 1.77 ERA, leads the league in that department, and complete games with 9, strikeouts 90. He has been something else. Rose in and waiting as Rogers sends in the pitch, and Pete takes it off the plate. Steve has a string of 22 consecutive scoreless innings going. He has pitched back-to-back shutouts. Ready with a 1-0 pitch, and Rose swings and hits one into deep right field. Going back, Valentine on the warning track, and he leaps up and picks it off. Ellis banging his left elbow into the fence as he left the warning track to pick off Rose's deep drive, and now he's heading back to his right field position and looking at it as Dave Cash moves out into shallow right field to make sure he's okay.
I think that's the value of the wood fences in most ballparks. Had that been concrete, Valentine could have very well seriously injured his elbow.
Here's Ken Griffey. Kenny bunting foul on Rogers' first delivery. The last run scored off Steve was in the 5th inning of a 5-1 win on May 30th in New York. He later blanked the Cardinals 2-0 on a one-hitter on June 3rd at Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and Atlanta 6-0 on a 6-hitter on June 8th in that same ballpark. Griffey shortens up, strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes quickly on Griffey, and that was a pretty good fastball that Rogers just busted in there. No balls, 2 strikes, Morgan on deck. Scoreless in the home half of the first inning. Griffey with a .306 batting average. Rogers working with his catcher Gary Carter, and this one down and in for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Griffey in the series 4 for 9, has knocked in a run. Rogers rocks on the mound, and the pitch cut on and bounced to second. Cash has it on the second hop, and he gets his man at first base. Here's Morgan, while defensively for Montreal in this first game, their infield has Perez, Cash, Speier, and Parrish at first, second, short, and third. The outfield and center, Andre Dawson to his right and left is Warren Cromartie, and to his left and right is Ellis Valentine. Carter catching. Morgan checking in at 286. 8 home runs, 29 RBIs, has been up 8 times in the series, has had a couple of base hits. There's a pitch missing inside for a ball. It's always one of the days that we personally look forward to, because the parade of banners between games of the twin-billed year in and out, very, very colorful, and in most cases very original. Strike on the inside that Morgan disputes with Eric Gregg. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rogers waiting for Joe to get back in the batter's box. He's gotten Rose on a deep fly to right and has retired Griffey on a bouncing ball to second. Joe leveling the bat as he looks out toward the mound. The pitch cut on and bounced foul off first and picked up there by Coach Russ Nixon. 1-2 on Morgan. Got that hot Philadelphia Philly ball club coming in here tomorrow night. 8:35 will be the start time for the series opener. Foul back by Joe, holding at 1-2. In that series opener, Woody Fryman coming back into the pitching rotation. He'll go against Steve Carlton. Freddie Norman against Jim Cott Tuesday, and Gary Nolan versus rookie Randy Lurch on Wednesday night. Rogers pitching, Morgan taking, fastball up and away. 2-2. Ball 3 is upstairs. Rogers, who had Morgan in a 1-2 hole, now has gone as far as he can go. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Joe bids to become a 2-out base runner and bring on Danny Driessen. Here's a payoff. That is a check swing foul ball to the Expos dugout. Rogers back to his windup. Morgan another foul, so Steve throwing strikes and Joe wasting them with foul balls. Count holding at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rogers, a former collegiate All-American from the University of Tulsa. 3-2 pitch. Cut on. Looper. Oh, got it. Fuller Speier at shortstop. Picked it off. Joe Morgan's bid for a 2-out base hit taken away as Speier climbed the ladder and speared it, and that's the inning. 3 up and 3 down. And after 1 full, it's the Reds nothing and the Expos nothing. Top of the second inning, no score here in game 1 of this doubleheader, and it'll be Warren Cromartie, the Expos left fielder. He'll be followed by Gary Carter, the catcher, and then third baseman Larry Parrish. Cromartie batting .291, no homers and 15 RBIs. 2 for 9 here in the 2 games with a run batted in. This young man leading the National League in doubles with 21. Having a fine first year in the major leagues. Left-handed batter. Strike on the outside corner. Expos as a team batting .264. The Reds hitting .277. And, of course, have been hitting a ton of late. Low, 1-1. In fact, the statistics released, the Major League statistics released this morning in the Sunday newspapers have the Reds second in the league in batting behind the St. Louis Cardinals. Swing, fly ball. Shallow left has Concepcion going out, getting under, and making the catch. One out. Here's the catcher, Gary Carter. The Cardinals, and these are statistics compiled through games of this past Friday, had a team batting average of .288, the Reds .278, and then the Dodgers, who have really fallen off. They were, of course, up over the .295 mark for a long, long time. They're batting .277 through Friday. Carter, another right-handed batter, pitches in for a strike. They have been going, Dick Williams has, that is, with pretty much a set lineup in this series. It features only one left-hand hitter. It's a young man who just popped to Concepcion, Cromartie. Swing and a miss. And we understand this being only the third doubleheader that the Expos have been involved in this season, that they will probably go with pretty much the same people in the second game as we are seeing here in the first. No balls and 2 strikes. Carter batting .284 as he trails on the count. Looking at a straightaway infield. A pitch cut on and bounced to the box. Zachry has it and deals on to Driessen. 2 out. Larry Parrish will be the 2-out batter. He's the Expos third baseman, batting .260. Hammered 6 home runs and has knocked in 20 runs. So Zachry getting off to a pretty good start here in the first couple of innings, making his pitches, working the corners as he did so effectively throughout the '76 campaign when he was the co-rookie of the year in this league. Swing and a miss. Busting a fastball in on the swinging Parrish. Strike 1. On deck, Andre Dawson, their center fielder. Outside and high for a ball, 1-1. Montreal having a base runner in the first, a 2-out single by Valentine, but Perez grounded to Morgan. Here in the second, Cromartie a pop and Carter a ground out. Just below the knees. Ball 2, 2-1. Zachry in with a pitch. Cut on and miss. Pitch out away from Larry Parrish. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bench hanging a sign, and Zachry in with a break-even delivery. High and inside, full count. We are pretty much playing a pitcher short in this doubleheader. Mike Caldwell suffering a mild injury to the bottom of his foot, his right foot. Strike 3, swinging. I have more to say about that. Zachry picks up his first strikeout as he sets him down in order. We're in the middle of the second. It's the Reds nothing and the Expos likewise.
Well, we loaded up the dogs in the pickup truck, heading out hunting and hoping for luck. Raring to go where the country's good as new. We'd hunt for a spell and then settle down, take it easy and gather round, pass a red fox chewing tobacco and have a chew. Later on, when we's all done in, we build a fire, let the story spin, open up another pouch and had another chew. Red Fox is mild, and like I say, a taste that fresh tastes good all day. Like a Tennessee hound, Red Fox won't let you down. Why don't you try Red Fox? Look for it in the white pouch with the picture of Old Red taking it easy. Red Fox chewing tobacco. Now it's better than ever. One day real soon, between me and you, I'm heading back to the fields with my Red Fox chew, 'cause mister, taking it easy never tasted so good. Red Fox.
Well, the defending Eastern Division champion, the Philadelphia Phillies, come to town for their first visit to Riverfront since last year's Championship Series tomorrow night for the first of 3 weeknight games. Tomorrow night's game starts at 8:35. Game time Tuesday and Wednesday will be 8:05. Plenty of seats are available for all 3 games, so make plans now to be on hand and purchase tickets at the Reds ticket agency nearest you. In Dayton at Reich's downtown, in Columbus at all Central Ticket Office locations, including area Sears stores. In Indianapolis at Ross and Babcock, and in Louisville at Allied Sporting Goods. Danny Driessen for openers here in the home second. Rogers setting down the Reds in order in the first to extend his scoreless inning streak to 23. Driessen 265 an average, and 3 for 9 in this series with a homer and 3 knocked in. Pitch to him, missing a breaking ball inside. Driessen, Foster, bench. Hopefully more here in inning number 2 for Cincinnati. Swung on, bouncing ball. Cash has it at second base, and on to Perez to retire Driessen. George Foster will be in for the first time. George has been swinging a good bat here against Montreal pitching. 4 hits, 9 trips, a homer, and 4 RBIs to raise his season's total to a club-leading 40. Home run he hit here Friday night in the 13-1 win, his 13th of the year, and only the second time he has homered this season at Riverfront Stadium. 11 of his 13 home runs have come on the road. Batting .308. Swing and a miss. As you talk about the number of home runs he's hit away from here, you have to take into account that West Coast trip to San Francisco and L.A. when he really went to ripping. Hit 4 home runs in 3 days in Los Angeles. Off-speed pitches in on him, 1-1. And a good crowd here today, and you mentioned earlier you've still got time to get out, see most of the 2 games, and of course be on hand to witness the Banner Day Parade prior to the start of game number 2. Way out in front of the pitch and a foul ball. Jack Billingham will be going against Don Stanhouse in the nightcap. Of course, Billingham will be out after his 8th victory. He and Freddie Norman have been the mainstays of this pitching staff in recent weeks. Here's a high pop off the right field line and carrying on back into the seats. Rogers staying ahead of Foster. Ball 2 strikes with Johnny Bench due up next. Here's a wind by the Expos right-hander. The pitch. Foster line drive, base hit. Down the left field line. Waiting on it is Cromartie. Foster will try to get a pair out of it, and he will. He hung out a frozen rope as he shot it over third base. Well, Foster coming up with the first Cincinnati base hit, a two-bagger to left field, and that is George's 10th double. Now, what do you say we stop Steve Rogers' scoring, a scoreless inning streak right here? George at second, one down. Johnny Bench presents himself for Steve Rogers. Now Rogers straddling the pitching rubber as he came to the pause position. Bench hitting .241 and has cracked 11 home runs. Check of the runner, the pitch to the plate, ball outside. Rogers, being a sinker ball pitcher, does not give up too many long balls. Low and away, ball two, and actually his figure is quite amazing. In 117 innings this season, he has been touched for 2 home runs. That's doing a job.
See, this, Marty, he's down in John's zone as far as the long ball. Gets the ball down, and John likes the ball down.
Here's Speier sneaking in behind Foster, now returning to his position. The 2-0 to Bench. That's ball 3 downstairs. Well, all 3 of the pitches to JB have been down and pretty much away. John checking with George Sugar. Let's see if he'll get the green light. If that 3-0 pitch is to his liking, you would certainly think so. With Foster out at second base early here in the game. No score on the board. Here it is. Bench check, swings a foul ball out to the right and out of play. Second doubleheader of 1977 for the Reds. They split a twin bill here about 3 weeks ago against the New York Mets. 3-1 to count. Bench takes it inside, and he gets a walk. Well, with 2 men on base, Steve Rogers is going to have to face the hottest hitter in the Cincinnati lineup. Concepcion, going 4 for 7 thus far against Expos pitching, has jacked his batting average to .308. Hit safely in 9 of his last 10 games and 14 out of his last 16. And in those 16 encounters, hitting a sizzling .441, going 16 for 59. Foster at second, Bench at first. The pitch. David takes low, ball 1. I think that's 26 for 59. Reds trying to get on the board as they bat here in the bottom half of inning number 2. Foster double to left with 1 away, and Bench gets a walk. David swings, line drive, base hit, right center field. Here comes Foster rounding third and onto the plate. And Davey is banged in a run to give the Reds a 1-0 lead. There goes Steve Rogers' consecutive scoreless inning streak. It stops at 23 1/3 innings, in which he had not allowed a run, as David drives a single to right center, scoring Foster from second and moving Johnny Bench to that base. 19th RBI for David. Here's Cesar Geronimo. Pitch to him. Ground ball hit wide of first. Perez backhands. He goes on to Speier, and that's all they're going to get. Tony moving quickly off to his right to get Geronimo's grounder and throw to Speier, forcing Concepcion, with Bench advancing to third, and Geronimo, the new runner at first base, for Pat Zachry. Reds 1, Expos nothing. Zachry has had 3 hits and 19 trips. Rogers giving up a double, a walk, a single to score a run, and now getting Geronimo to hit into a force play. Pitcher against pitcher with runners on the corners and 2 men out. Strike to him. And the big key to Rogers' success thus far this season is increased velocity. It happens from time to time with pitchers, and they say he has really been throwing hard this season, and we've seen evidence of it on a few fastballs he's thrown here in the first couple of innings. Chopper foul, strike 2. Steve Rogers is what you would consider to be a stopper on any pitching staff. Sparky Anderson likes to call him a honcho. Well, if they had anything at all to go with Rogers, you hate to think what this club might be doing. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. We saw some pretty good pitching last night from breaking ball pitcher Jackie Brown, and 2 fine innings of relief by the youngster Joe Kerrigan as Montreal rung up the victory. Change is high, 2-2. Zachry started to go, but held back on the swing, and Rogers now involved in a 2-2 count against his opposite number. Bench at third, Geronimo at first. Runners home, and the Reds lead it 1-0. Rogers with a long look into Carter. Now the stretch and the pitch. Strike 3 call. Got it down outside part of the plate. Zachry caught looking, and the inning is over. But the Reds get a run on 2 hits, leave 2, and after 2 innings, it's Cincinnati 1 and Montreal nothing.
That melody you hear says that pleasure's near. Real belovers know that means true. So play that friendly sound, pass that great taste around. Someone belover to another show.
Wilson for the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
We go to the top of the third. It's 1-0 our side, and Montreal will be coming with 8, 9, and 1. Andre Dawson will lead it off, and here to call the next pair for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty. Dawson owns a .242 batting average. He's hit 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 7 doubles, and a triple. In yesterday's ball game, Dawson was 1 for 3, and Friday night, Dawson hit his 4th home run of the year off Pedro Borbon in the 7th inning, a shot to the seats in right field. Dawson, a right-handed batter. Zachry, through the first 2 innings, has allowed the Expos 1 hit and a bouncer up the middle off the bat of Ellis Valentine. He struck out 1. He got Parrish to end the 2nd inning. Andre Dawson, Steve Rogers, and Dave Cash here in the 3rd for the Expos. Reds leading it 1-0. Outfield around to the right. Zachry winds and delivers outside the ball. Zachry, the 1-0. Again, low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes to Dawson. Pat waiting on Dawson. Now they're going to put Andre back in the batter's box. As apparently Andre just behind the back line in the batter's box. We're ready to go now. 2-0 the count. A pitch on the way, swung on. That's hit into deep right center field. Going back, Geronimo to the warning track, and a step away from the fence, he hauls it in. 1 down, and here's Steve Rogers. Rogers, a 105 batting average. He's had 4 hits and 38 times up. Has driven in 2 runs. Second doubleheader of the year for the Reds. The third for the Expos. The Reds, as Marty pointed out, splitting the doubleheader with the New York Mets here. Boy, we can remember that game very easily. They easily won 2. Rogers swings and misses. Zachry fastball 0-1. The bases loaded in the 10th. Couldn't score. You'll remember the 0-1. Swung on, bounced foul, and quickly Zach out in front 0-2 to Rogers. Pat into the wind, the 0-2. He got him. Slider down and away, and Rogers one after didn't get. Second strikeout for Zachry, and 2 away here in the third for the Expos. Dave Cash steps in. Cash leading off the ball game, bounced to Morgan at second base. Dave with a .287 batting average, 17 RBIs. Zach delivers, Cash takes, low and away, a ball. Cash has had 66 hits and 230 times to the plate. He has walked 19 times. Pitch on the way, check swing, a strike call. 1-1. Zachry has his sign. His 1-1 on the way. Swung on and fouled out of play to the right. Zachry out in front now. Ball, 2 strikes to Dave Cash. Cash takes just under the knees on the outside corner. 2-2. Pat taking off a sign from bench. Now the 2-2. Change-up, swung on and missed, and that's 3 strikeouts for Pat Zachry. That's 7 straight now that Zach has retired. Nothing across. Middle of the third. Reds 1, Expos nothing.
Mom sure knew how to cook, didn't she? You just couldn't wait for supper after a long, hard day. Well, the chefs at the Southern Hotel think that Mom's homemade cooking was fantastic. So they've duplicated her style in preparing the country supper buffet every Saturday night from 5 to 9. You'll feast on a wide variety of taste-tempting dishes, from black-eyed peas to a steamship round of beef, prepared in the same way Mom used to do it. The whole family will enjoy this unique dining experience, and be sure to come back for more. There's plenty for the highest of appetites. The country supper buffet is served every Saturday night from 5 to 9, and while you're there, join the fun for the live show and radio broadcast of the WMNI Country Cavalcade. It's a complete evening of dining and entertainment at the Southern Hotel. Your home for country hospitality on the corner of Main and High Streets in downtown Columbus.
Now the Reds lead 1-0 as they come to bat here in the bottom half of the third. Top of the order, Rose, Griffey, and Morgan. Pete in the first inning set Valentine crashing into the right field fence to haul in his long drive. Pete hitting .310 with 3 home runs, hit his 3rd of the year in yesterday's loss, coming in the 7th inning. Off Jackie Brown. Reds with 2 hits, both coming in the second when we scored a run, a double by Foster, and Dave Concepcion single to right center field to drive in George. Thus stopping Rogers' streak at 23 in the 3rd innings. First pitch to Rose, swung on and hit down the left side, but curving foul back into the stands. Today at St. Louis, Dodgers and the Cardinals, it's Tommy John 6-3 and Eric Rasmussen 4-7. Pitchers 0-1 on the way, up high with a fastball, 1-1. Rogers back to the plate. Swung on, ground ball. Speier at short, up and throwing on to Perez. 1 out, and Kenny Griffey moves in. Griffey bounced to Cash in the first inning. Montreal outfield will play Ken straightaway, but in the infield, Parrish, the third baseman, in front of the white line, the in line. As Rogers delivers, the bunt attempt is high, and did he try or not? They check with Ed Vargo, the third base umpire, and he says no, sir. 1-0. Of course, Ed has been at third all 3 days. Ed Vargo, as we pointed out last evening, that Ed had a fracture of the little finger on his right hand. Swing and a miss by Griffey, and it's 1-1. Finger broken in 4 different places. A ball of strike to Ken Griffey. Rogers delivers. Griffey swings and fouls. Steve Rogers now out in front of Kenny. A ball, 2 strikes. Griffey points to the on-deck signal. Joe Morgan gives him the rosin bag. Ken had a hit in yesterday's game, scored a run. He was 1 for 4, along with a walk and a stolen base. All right, Griffey back in, and Rogers the 1-2 delivery. Swung on, hit down the left side, and Warren Cromartie won't get to that one. Off the wall on the first bounce. Cromartie has it, returns to the infield, and Kenny Griffey with his 14th double of the year to the opposite field. Ball really slicing away from Cromartie, and he just turned and played it off the wall. So Griffey at second base with 1 out and Joe Morgan in. Joe robbed of a base hit in the first inning on a fine play by Chris Speier, the Expos shortstop. Chris jumping very high to pick off Joe's line drive. Rogers the stretch, looks back at Griffey and delivers to Morgan. Joe swings and pulls it down the right field line. Valentine looking up. It's out of here. Well, Morgan hit an absolute line drive, just barely getting over the fence, and we lead it 3-0. For Joe, his 9th home run of the year, and it gives him a total of 31 RBI. That ball just getting over an absolute line drive, and Valentine turned to play it off the fence, but nothing doing. So we lead it 3-0. Point out something, Doc Ballou. It's pretty hard to do if you want to know the truth, if you've been here to Riverfront. First pitch on the way to Driessen on the outside corner called strike. The ball, it went over the wall and under the seats, and that's even with Brenneman's super control, I doubt if he could throw one there.
I do have good control.
Curveball in, strike 2. So Rogers quickly out in front of Driessen. No balls, 2 strikes. That's just the 3rd home run that Rogers has allowed this year in 120 innings now. He delivers high and inside to Driessen. A ball, 1-2. Three to nothing, Reds lead. 1 out, and the 1-2 to Driessen. And he takes again up high, and it evens out at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rogers checking in with Carter. Has the sign, the 2-2 delivery. High again. Full count now to Driessen. And the payoff on the way. Danny swings, and he hits it hard to right field, but Valentine will play this one right at the edge of the warning track. 2 away, and George Foster steps in. George doubled in the second inning and scored our first run on Dave Concepcion, single to right center field. Now Parrish and Speier over to the mound to talk with Steve Rogers. Driessen hits the ball hard. Morgan hit a shot out of here for his 9th home run of the year. Make it a 3-0 ball game. Foster with 13 home runs and 40 RBI. The pitch on the way. George swings, doesn't get it. A foul tip, actually, in the mid of Carter. Outfield straight away to George. He's out of the batter's box, now back in. Larry Parrish deep at third. The 0-1. That strike two call to the knees, a slider. George saying the pitch was low. Well, Rogers in front, 0-2 to Foster. Pitch on the way. That's an off-speed pitch that hangs inside. One ball, two strikes. Rogers winds and delivers. Foster swings and sends it foul off to the right. That'll drop into the seats. Pound holding a ball, two strikes. Good crowd here this afternoon, 40,000 plus. Again, the 1-2. Swung on, and that's hit into right center field. And moving over is Valentine now, waiting on it. He has it. That's it for the Reds, but we got 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, no one left on base. The end of 3, the Reds 3, the Expos nothing.
When you never find me, you just can't do it alone.
Beautiful musical compositions would never have made it were it not for a good partnership. Gilbert and Sullivan, Rogers and Hammerstein, and Lerner and Lowe are among the immortals. A partner supplies his talent and ingenuity to augment the other's skill and needs. That's what your Grange agent can do for you. Your skills have helped you acquire valuable property, and your Grange partner can protect it. Give a listen next time a Grange agent says, "Let's be partners."
Brings me to all the way your partner in protection. When you have a family, you just can't do it alone.
Pat Zachry in the 4th inning will face Chris Speier, Ellis Valentine, and Tony Perez. Zach with 3 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. He has allowed 1 hit, the 1 hit belonging to Ellis Valentine. Reds lead it 3-0, scoring 1 in the 2nd and 2 more in the 3rd. The 2 in the 3rd inning coming on a double by Griffey and Joe Morgan's 9th home run of the year. All right, Chris Speier steps in. Speier, a .246 batting average for the home run and 8 RBIs. Zach winds and delivers. Speier takes a strike. This looked like he wanted to bunt. Pat delivers, and it's a check swing this time. It's a pretty good-looking pitch, but they say no, so the count evens 1-1. Speier away from the plate and now steps back in. Now 1-1. That's ball 2. Hey, Pat throwing some pitches that look awful good from where we're at. Apparently not to Mr. Gregg, the plate umpire. 2-1 delivery. Strike on the inside corner, and the count evens 2-2. Danny Driessen well off the line at first. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat. A 1 bouncer to Driessen. He goes to the bag, 1 away, and we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
This is WNNI-FM, Columbus, Ohio, where we feature the very best in music. Join us right after today's Reds game and see what we mean. Quad 100, nothing but the best.
All right, here's Ellis Valentine. He owns the 1 base hit the Expos have and swings on the first pitch and fouls it out of play to the right. Speier, in hitting that soft bouncer to Dan Driessen, broke his bat in the barrel of it, winding up over near the on-deck circle, the Expos on-deck circle, where Tony Perez kneels. 0-1 to Valentine. And he winds the pitch. A check swing foul off to the right again, and Pat out in front, 0-2 now to Valentine. It looks like he has a pretty good changeup so far today. And here's the 0-2. That swung on again, foul to the right, now to play. And a young lady down there, a one-handed stab, dropped it bounced right back to her. 0-2 the count. The wind, the pitch. That swung on, grounded up the middle. Concepcion cannot get to it. It's on into center field, a base hit. Tell you, Pete Rose, talking about Ellis Valentine, really likes the young man as a hitter. He says he stays right with that baseball. That ball in on Valentine. He fought it off into center field for the base hit. Second hit of the game. Both of them belong to Ellis Valentine. Here's Tony Perez. Tony grounded to Morgan to end the first inning. 35 RBIs, 7 home runs, and a .287 batting average. Zachry the stretch. And the pitch. Perez swings and chops it foul off to the left. Three to nothing, Reds leading. One out, Valentine at first base. Back to the belt. And there goes Valentine. The pitch is swung on, hit to Concepcion. Morgan won, and the throw on to Driessen, a double play, and Valentine really slowed down as he got to second base, and I don't know what he might have been thinking. He certainly could have had a part in breaking up the double play, but we'll take it. It goes 6-4 to 3. The 60th double play the Reds have turned in this year. In the inning, no runs are hit, no errors, no one left on base. The middle of the fourth, the Reds 3 and the Expos nothing. Reds lead 3-0 as they bat here in the fourth inning. It'll be Bench, Concepcion, and Geronimo. Bench walked in the second inning, on with a .241 batting average, 11 home runs, and 39 RBIs. He's one behind George Foster, who leads the Reds with 40. Rogers has given the Reds 4 hits in the first 3 innings, and 3 of them for extra bases. His first pitch to Bench is taken low and outside a ball. Foster a double, Griffey a double, and of course Joe Morgan's 2-run homer. The pitch on the way, a check swing. It's low and inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Phillies move into town tomorrow night. Open a 3-game series. 2-0 delivery. Ball 3. Bench a pitch away from drawing his second walk of the game as Gary Carter goes out to have a word with Steve Rogers. Tomorrow night, the probable pitchers, Woody Fryman for the Reds, Steve Carlton for the Phillies. 3-0 on the way. Bench has the green light, swings, pops it up. Parrish over to the Montreal dugout, but that one drops just behind the dugout, and just a gentleman, I hope he's all right. Must have lost it in the sun. Count 3-1 to Bench. Rogers delivers. Bench takes ball 4. So Bench with a leadoff walk here in the fourth inning. The second walk issued by Rogers, and here's Dave Concepcion. Dave, a line drive single to right center field in the second inning to score Foster from second base with the first run of the ball game. Concepcion with that base hit, now hitting .311. He takes low and outside. A good block by Gary Carter on a breaking ball. Gary had an interesting evening Friday. He was digging him out of the dirt all night long, and here he makes a fine play on a critter ball from Rogers. It's low and away. Concepcion with the RBI now with 19. His second home run of the year in yesterday's loss. Pitch on the way, in the knees. It's called strike, and it's 1-1. Second game, it'll be Don Stanhouse for Montreal. Jack Billingham will be looking for his 8th win of the year for the Reds. Rogers the 1-1. Swung on, that's hit into right field. Ellis Valentine coming on. He makes the play and wants to throw to first, but holds up. One down, and the Chief steps in, Geronimo. He hit into a force out in the second inning. Cesar, a .290 batting average with 5 home runs and 22 RBIs. Boy, he has been hot with a stick. Hitting 7 straight games. The pitch. Swung on, a hard one bouncer. Cash. Speier. Drops the ball, and oh boy. Well, Johnny Bench had turned out of the baseline and really given up on it, and Speier dropped the throw from Cash, and of course, John not going on to second, and an embarrassing moment for Johnny. So they just get the force of Bench at second base. They going 4-6. Second out of the inning, and Geronimo now at first, and Pat Zachry steps in. Zach was called out on strikes to end the second inning. Rogers sets and delivers. Zachary swings and bounces it foul. Just off the first baseline. Carter trying to get to it in the dirt area around home plate. Played 3.5 innings in the first of 2 at Pittsburgh, and the San Diego Padres leading 1-0. The game's underway at the present time in either league. Rogers ready. His pitch swung on and fouled to the screen, and Steve Rogers in front of Pat Zachry 0-2. Geronimo leads at first. The pitch on the way. Zach swings, doesn't get it. Second strikeout for Rogers, and that ends the inning. The Reds, no runs, no hits, no errors. A runner left on base, and we've completed 4 here in the first game of the doubleheader. The Reds lead 3-0 over the Expos.
Near League to begin his professional career. Here's Gary Carter, bounced back to the box in the second. 2 other American League games, Toronto at Seattle, Vukovic against Pole, and Detroit at Oakland, Dave Rozema against Vita Blue. Swing at a miss. Joe mentioned San Diego leading Pittsburgh 1-0. The bottom of the 4th inning, that's Randy Jones versus Jerry Royce. We're in the top of the 5th at Riverfront. Reds holding a 3-0 lead over Montreal. Pat Zachry has given them only 2 hits. Johnny Bench sets the target on the outside, but Zachry misses with a pitch, a ball and a strike. Carter batting .282 is only 1 for 8 here in Cincinnati. Ball 2 is low, 2 balls and a strike. Zachry checking in, the wind and the pitch. That is hit to right field. Ball heading toward the corner. That'll be in for a base hit. Griffey comes up firing, but Carter goes in with a head-first slide and a double at second base. Now, Gary Carter going the other way with a 2-base hit to right. Dave Concepcion taking Griffey's throw from deep on the warning track in right field, pulling him away from the bag, but it really wouldn't have made much difference anyway. Carter had it easily made, so that's going to bring on Larry Parrish with a runner at second and one out. Right-hander Bill Atkinson begins to throw now in the Expos bullpen. Parrish, a strikeout victim, swinging in the second. He swings at the line drive. Concepcion's got it. Quick throw back. But Carter not straying too far away, and Morgan taking David's throw off the bag. 2 out. Now Andre Dawson, who hit an opposite field home run here Friday night to account for the only Montreal run, and had Cesar Geronimo going back to the wall in right center to bring down his fly ball in the third today. Should Dawson get on, you might possibly look for a pinch hitter for Steve Rogers. Here's a slow grounder hit to short, charging David, scooping and throwing. Got him, side, retire. Carter's double of no consequence. He's left at second base on the only hit of the inning, and after 4.5, it's the Reds 3 and the Expos nothing. As we move to the bottom of the fifth inning, we'd like to remind you that Father's Day is a week from today, and if you're looking for a special gift to give to Dad, may we suggest you stop by the Reds 580 gift shop. You'll find dozens of unique gift items bearing the Reds' colorful emblem. Things like a Reds golf umbrella, an official Reds baseball cap, a handsome Reed and Barton pewter mug, and a beautiful knit sports shirt. Stop by soon. The Reds 580 gift shop, 6th and Walnut, downtown Cincinnati. Just a reminder, you can call or write the Reds office for a handy 580 mail order form. We'll be coming with the top of the order. Rose, Griffey, Morgan. Rogers has gotten Pete twice today on a fly to deep right and on a ground out to shortstop. 4 hits for the Reds and amassing their 3 runs. Only 3 hits for the Expos. They've been shut out. Rose waiting, and the pitch is taken, ball 1. Pete has been in something of a slump of late. His batting average has dropped down to .307. Swing and a hard grounder hit to Perez at first. Tony will get the put out. Rose out for the 3rd straight time, and it'll be Ken Griffey stepping in. Kenny's double back in the 3rd preceded Joe Morgan's 9th home run. Griffey 1 for 2 with the run scored and batting .308. When you look at our lineup today, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 8 regulars hitting .300 or better. Strike to him a breaking ball, and Geronimo, of course, only 12 or so points away at .290, while Morgan is now up around the .290 mark. Reds have really been hitting the ball well. Griffey with a 1-strike pitch coming. Takes it inside. He had shortened up on the bat, but then had to quickly backpedal out of there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Atkinson, he'd been throwing for Montreal. Now all is quiet that way. Rogers scheduled to lead off the 6th inning, and down by 3 runs, you would expect that Dick Williams would go to his bench, but we'll have to wait and see. Swing and a foul. Rogers with a count advantage, a ball, 2 strikes. And with the 2-strike count, Larry Parrish now backing up to play at normal depth at third base. Pitch. Shot foul, and on top of the Expos dugout and on up into the seats.
Howdy, that ball hit it right at the gentleman that took that one foul ball off the top of his head. That was right at him. I think I'd move back if I were him.
Very strategic position he happens to be occupying today. Griffey drills one into center field. That's a hit. Well, Kenny has found Steve Rogers to his liking. He's reached him for a couple of singles, or a couple of hits. Double, now a single and 3 trips, and Morgan gets an especially warm greeting following that line drive that just cleared the wall and right back in the 3rd for his 9th long ball. Joe has now knocked in 31 runs. We've seen a lot of these guys go both ends today for Cincinnati, as no doubt will be the case for Montreal. Here's a throw to first base. Among the 74 steals the Reds have chalked up, Griffey has been successful on 13 of them in 15 tries. Leading 3-0 in the bottom of the fifth inning. One man out. Rogers deals, and Morgan takes a strike. But that Rose certainly will go both ends. Driessen to play the second game. Probably Concepcion, maybe Morgan, Foster, Geronimo, and Griffey. Throw to first again. This time Rogers had a little bit more mustard behind it. Bill was talking about Ed Bargo earlier today and the fact that suffered a broken little finger in 4 different places, has it heavily encased in a cast down at third base. We were talking with Ed before the game. He is leaving after this doubleheader and is going home for a period of time until things get cleared up. Throw to first again.
Funny, that last throw over to first base, I think Tony took it in a vulnerable spot. He even took his glove off to show a little respect to Mr. Rogers, and it stung.
Morgan swings and hits a high fly ball back into right field. Drifting back is Valentine. He's got a play on it, and he makes the catch just a step short of the track. Now throwing back to first as Griffey hustles back. Danny Driessen with 2 out. He's bounced to second. He's hit a fly ball to right. Larry Parrish coming in from third base. He'll chat briefly with Steve Rogers before Rogers works to Driessen. Reds got on the board in the second when Concepcion singled across Foster, and then in the third, a double by Griffey and a home run by Morgan. They have produced the 3 Cincinnati tallies. Driessen waits. Rogers checks and pitches. Fastball is high. Danny at the 262 mark. 5 home runs and 33 RBIs. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foster on deck as Rogers works here in the 5th inning with 2 outs. In with a 1-1. That is hit to right center field, and Valentine will make the catch. Driessen has hit the ball hard twice now, and both times his shots have been picked off by Valentine. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We move to the 6th inning, where the Reds lead the Expos in game 1, 3-0.
That melody you hear says that pleasure's near. Real belovers know that means true. So play that friendly sound, pass that great dish around, from one belover to another show. For more than 200 years, the Stroh family's been making great beer. Taking pride in what they're doing it their own way, doing it the Stroh way. So play that friendly sound, have that great dish around. Real belovers know. Real belovers know that means true.
Nancy Wilson for the Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Joe Nuxall and Marty Brenneman back at Riverfront Stadium. We're involved in the first of this twin bill against Montreal, and we're in the 6th inning, leading 3-0. Steve Rogers scheduled to lead things off. As we look over into the Montreal dugout, he has just selected a bat and apparently is going to remain in to hit for himself. I want to again remind you that all seats have been sold for the Reds-Dodgers doubleheader coming up here on Sunday, June 26th. But a good supply of seats are still available for the L.A. games on Friday, June 24th and Saturday, June 25th. Be on hand for this big series, and be sure to purchase your tickets in advance. Dodgers wrapping up a series in St. Louis today. Tommy John against Eric Rasmussen. They'll be going home to play the Pirates, Cubs, and Cardinals before coming into Cincinnati. Well, we've got the Phillies coming into town tomorrow night, and then we'll be going on the road for 3 in Montreal and 3 in Philadelphia before the big meeting with L.A. Here's a shot foul beyond the Cincinnati dugout. Rogers in the third looked at a call third strike. He bounces one slowly wide of first. Driessen backhands, races on, and who got there first? Zachry did. That turned out to be a very close play. Rogers hitting a soft line drive wide of first base. Driessen moved over to his right to backhand the ball, and then it was just a matter of whether or not Zachry was going to get there before Rogers did. Dave Cash is 0 for 2. He is grounded out second to first, and in the third inning, Zachry struck him out swinging with a good changeup. Strike is called as Pat quickly gets out in front. Missing low and outside, count evens at a ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. Cash behind at 1 and 2 as Zachry continues to pitch very well today. He, of course, had his problems the last time out against the New York Mets up at Shea. But with it all together in this game. Ground ball down the first base line. That's a fair ball by Driessen rolling on toward the corner. Cash rounding first, coming to second. Here's Griffey having trouble locating the ball, and Cash moving to third base and is in standing with a triple. Griffey had problems running it down in the right field corner, and Dave Cash moving all the way to third base with a 3-base hit. We'll pause for station identification on the Reds Baseball Network.
This is WMNI FM, Columbus, Ohio. You're listening to the 50,000-watt voice of the world champion Cincinnati Reds. For every Reds game, home and away, be listening right here to Quad 100.
Dave Cash at third base with his second 3-bagger of the year. Here's Chris Speier. He swings and fouls out of play. Speier has popped up the bench. He has bounced out to Driessen. So the Expos shut out through 5+ are trying to get on the board, and now Speier is going to talk it over with third base coach Ozzie Virgil. And Dick Williams coming out of the dugout to talk with both Virgil and Speier. Apparently a mix-up in the signs, and with a chance to possibly get a run in here, the Montreal skipper doesn't want any cross-up.
Marty, I don't know. What you say could be true, but I just wonder if Chris might not be hurting somewhere too. The way after he swung at that ball, looked like something was bothering too.
Well, we'll watch Chris Speier closely and see if that is a possibility. We note that Dick Williams is talking with his trainer down in the dugout, so apparently something is amiss with Speier. Strike 2 call. Infield playing back. They'll give up the run to get the out. Missing outside. Bench taking a look in down at third to see what Cash was doing. What Davey was doing was getting back quickly to the bag. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And we're going to get somebody, Pepe Frias, loosening up down in the Expo bullpen. Here's a ground ball to second. That's going to get the run in. Morgan throws Speier out, and that may be all we'll see of Chris in this first game and possibly for the doubleheader. His ground out to the right side gets the run in. That's his 19th RBI and makes it a 3-1 score with Ellis Valentine stepping in. Triple by Cash. Ground ball out by Speier. Montreal has scored. Valentine 2 singles. Swings and he misses. Low outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Valentine jumping his batting average up to .328 with this 2-for-2 game. Fouls off the end of the bat. So look for Frias to come to the Expo lineup at shortstop in the bottom of the inning. Zachry sends in the pitch, and Valentine grounds back to the mound. Pat, with all the time in the world, throws a strike to Double D, and that's the inning. 1 run, 1 hit. After 5.5, the Reds over the Expos 3-1. Pepe Frias now in at shortstop, and they have apparently wrapped the left wrist of Chris Speier down in the Montreal dugout, so obviously he was suffering with some problem. Oh, they took the wrist wrapping off of his wrist. Anyway, he's out of the game, and, well, we'll have to wait and see whether or not he'll be back in there for game number 2. Here in the 6th, Foster, Bench, and Concepcion will be plying their talents against Steve Rogers, who manager Dick Williams allowed to remain in to bat for himself in the top of the frame, despite the club's looking at a 3-run deficit. They have scored and now trail by 2. Been only 9 hits in the game. The Reds have had 5 of them. And thus far, both clubs have played errorless baseball. Foster has doubled and scored a run, and he has also flied to right. Steve came into this game with a 22-inning scoreless streak, but had that snapped when Foster doubled in the 2nd and scored later on Concepcion's single. Foul ball at the plate. Right-hander with a wind to pitch. Foster checking his swing, and that's in for strike 2 call. No balls and 2 strikes. Rogers dealing, and Foster taking high and away for a ball. Now the Pirates came up with 4 in the 4th inning, and now lead San Diego 4-1 as Pittsburgh bats in the bottom of the 5th. That's the first of 2. Second game probables. Rookie Bob Alchinko against Larry Demery. 1-2 on Foster leading off the 6th inning. Inside, ball 2. San Francisco and the Cubs have started at Wrigley. Giants scoreless in the top of the 1st off Mike Krukow. Cubs hitting off the left-hander John Curtis. And the Dodgers get a run in the top of the 1st inning in St. Louis off Eric Rasmussen. 2-2 on Foster with a pitch. Ball 3, breaking pitch. 2 not yet started. Philadelphia and Atlanta. That's Lonborg against Messersmith. And New York at Houston. Seaver will duel Bannister. Phillies and the Braves had a wild one last night with Philadelphia winning at 13-10. Foster in the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. He's on with a walk, and that's the 3rd allowed by Rogers. Well, we got our lead man on as Johnny Bench comes up. John has walked twice. In the 2nd and also in the 4th. Other late scores last night, in case you missed them in 10. New York beat Houston 6-4. We're going to get further activity now in the Montreal bullpen with Bill Atkinson again starting to throw. Runner goes. Johnny Bench with a base hit to right field. Foster takes a turn and comes on to 3rd as the Reds play a little bit of hit and run. We're cooking in the 6th inning as Foster walks, breaks on Rogers' first pitch plateward, and Bench rams a single to the right side.
That's really a pretty play when it works, isn't it? Second baseman, of course, Cash in this case covering, and just a nice little ground ball. Although John hit the ball sharply, but we've seen some real dandies go through there on the hit.
Out to the mound is pitching coach Jim Brewer, and we mentioned Atkinson loosening up. He's been joined by left-hander Will McEnany. Nobody out, runners at 1st and 3rd. Dodgers beat the Cardinals 9-8 last night in the American League. Toronto 5, Seattle 4. Another West Coast game at Cleveland besting California 3-1, and Baltimore beat Chicago 4-1. Eric Gregg, the plate umpire, out to the mound as the meeting breaking up. Carter coming on back to the plate. Parrish heading to third, and the batter will be Dave Concepcion. Now let's see if the Reds can tack some more runs on the board here against this Expos pitching ace Rogers. David has knocked in one with a single in the second, and then lined out to Valentine. That was in the fourth. First and third, none out. Rogers with a pause at the belt. He sends in the pitch. David swings, fly ball, right field. That's going to be deep enough to get Foster in. Valentine makes the catch. Here comes a throw toward the plate. Bench is trying to move to second. He will, and Foster scores. 4-1. Sacrifice fly by Dave Concepcion. His second RBI in the game and number 20 on the year. His fourth sacrifice fly of the season, and that breaks him out of a tie with George Foster for club leadership. Well, Bench moving to second on the fly ball to right with Foster coming in. Now Geronimo with one out and a runner at second. Pitch outside, ball one. Well, we get the report now from the Expos clubhouse. Chris Speier suffering a slight sprain of the right wrist. Pitch inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Geronimo trying to extend his hitting streak. He's twice hit into force plays in this game and looking to extend that streak to 8 straight games. Bench at second, checking around on Frias and Cash. Geronimo takes it down and outside, ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike. McEnany and Atkinson continue to get ready. Rogers straightens up on the mound, delivers, and the Chief with a green light swings and fouls. All bouncing off the glove of Gary Carter. Philadelphia, Atlanta, playing in Atlanta Stadium in the second, no score. Bill Robinson is homered with a man aboard. His 5th of the year for the Pittsburgh Pirates as they increase their lead over San Diego to 6-1. Here's a fly ball back into left field. Going back, Cromartie still going back. At the wall, gone. Unbelievable. An opposite field home run by Geronimo, and that's amazing. His 6th home run of the year, and the Reds now lead it with his 3-run 6th inning, 6-1, as Dick Williams comes to the mound. That, of course, extending the Geronimo hitting streak to 8 straight with a home run to left field.
Marty, is the ball juiced up or not?
I'll tell you, it has to be. It's just, despite what might be said, it simply has to be. A change of pitchers now in the offering for the Montreal Expos as Rogers gives way to the former Cincinnati Red reliever, left-hander Will McEnany. So we've got a break in the action here in the 6th inning, and we'll be back with more Reds baseball action in just a moment.
Dancers and singers, high-flying swingers, something for everyone, Kings Island, for you. Kings Island's unfair to Dick Van Dyke. Yep, that's what I told him. I mean, just when I think I've seen everything there, I find something new. For example, there's the Screamin' Demon, a new ride that'll throw you for a loop. Then I saw a superb show, Chevrolet's Hooray for Hollywood. After that, I had to see the wild animal safari with new wild animals from 3 different continents. Now, that's just the new stuff. So how do I stay and see it all? Well, let me put it this way. If you spot a tall, thin Yogi Bear at the park, don't be surprised if he answers to the name Dick. A world full of fantasy, a place you should plan to see a kingdom where all your dreams come true. Kings Island for everyone, Kings Island for you.
Left-hander Will McInerney, the new Montreal pitcher, as he takes over for Steve Rogers with 3 runs home here in the 6th inning and only 1 away. McInerney making his 26th relief appearance, has won 1, has lost 1, and has an earned run average of 332. He's also, well, let's see, in terms of saves, he's not had one this season. Inning started with a walk to Foster, then bench with the Reds hitting and running, single through the right side, sending George on to third. Davies fly ball to right, got Foster home, with Bench moving up to second, and then Geronimo, totally unexpected, hammered a home run to left field to make it 6-1. Zachry has struck out twice. He swings and pops it up. Right side, Perez and Cash coming together, and Tony plays it. 2 out. Pitching line on Rogers, 5 1/3 innings. The Reds come up with 7 hits and 6 runs, including 2 homers. 1 by Morgan and 1 by Geronimo, each with a man on base. Steve struck out 2 and walked 3. Rose fly to right, ground out to short, bouncing ball to first, 0 for 3. He turning around to hit the other way for the first time in this one against a left-hander. Call strike. Rose with a batting average of .256 against left-hand pitching. Way inside. 1-1 to count. Swung on and foul out of play to the right. This is the first appearance in this series for Will, who brought his wife Lynn in for the series here in Cincinnati. Swing, fly ball, shallow right center. That'll fall. Over to play it. Here comes Pete to second base, and safe. Never breaking stride. Dawson went over to play it in the gap, and here he came like a runaway locomotive. Head first slide came in the side door to the mound side of the bag, and that for Pete is his 18th double. And his 501st career 2-base hit. Well, I'll tell you, the man has the innate ability to light up a crowd.
Oh, Marty's explained many times. Any time there's any doubt, he leaves home plate thinking 2.
Here's Griffey now. Blowing away, ball to him. Kenny has had 2 hits, a double and a single, and has scored a run. Atkinson continuing to throw for Montreal. Swung on, and a soft, lazy fly ball hit the straightaway right field. Valentine has it in his sights and makes the catch. Profitable 6 for the Reds, 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 left, and after 6 complete, the Reds 6 and the Expos 1.
It's taken 50 years and a lot of research for Norge to come up with a line of dryers that solve the wash day blues. Take model LDG 2065, for example. It's love at first sight. It has the famous Norge 20-pound capacity 8 cubic foot drum that provides room for clothes to tumble freely and billow dry. The 110 square inch lint filter captures lint without restricting airflow. This Norge dryer gives you many standard features designed to save time, energy, and money, like automatic permapress and regular load cycles, wrinkle control, and a timed dry cycle. Plus, a 4-position heat selector. You just can't beat a Norge 20-pound washer-dryer pair for convenience and economy. Your Norge pair comes in white, avocado, harvest gold, and copper tone. For complete details, stop by Modern TV and Appliance, 1804 Dresden Road, Zanesville, Ohio. A Norge means four-way savings.
We move to the final 3 innings of action. The Reds now leading Montreal by a 5-run spread at 6-1, and it's going to be Tony Perez for openers against Pat Zachry, and back to call the action. Here's Joe.
All right, Marty. Tony 0 for 2. He grounded to second in the first inning and then bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the fourth. Zachry has given the Expos 4 hits through 6 innings. Montreal scoring their run in the 6th on a triple by Dave Cash and a ground out by Chris Speier. Well, Tony Perez steps in. Tony with 7 home runs, 35 RBIs, and a .287 batting average. He's dropped down to .284 now. The pitch to him. He swings and hits it into center field. Moving toward right center now is Ken Griffey, makes the catch. Like Geronimo might have lost the ball momentarily, so Griffey making the catch in right center field, 1 away. One out, and Warren Cromartie steps in. Cromartie has popped to Concepcion and bounced to Driessen in his 2 times to the plate. Outfield straight away. Cromartie, a left-handed batter, takes under the knees the ball. Back looking for his 4th win of the year, the 1-0. Cromartie steps over the plate to take a peek at that one, and it cost him a strike. 1-1. Zachry back to the plate. Missing down low. 2 balls to strike. Second game pitchers, Don Stanhouse for Montreal. Jack Billingham, the Reds. The pitch on the way, low and inside. The count goes 3-1 to Cromartie. Larry Carter waiting on deck. Zachry doing a little landscaping down in the front of the pitching mound. Now steps back to the pitching rubber and looks into Johnny Bench. 3-1 the count. Pitch on the way. Cromartie takes strike 2 call, and Warren was ready to throw the bat away, but Eric Gregg fires that right hand up, so the count goes full. And the payoff on the way. Swung on and fouled. Straight back and out of play. Cromartie hitting .291 with 15 RBIs and 21 doubles. Zachry again, the 3-2. That swung on, hit off the end of the bat. Shallow right, coming hard. Griffey on the run. He makes the catch. Well, Kenny had to turn it on to catch up with that one. Cromartie hitting it right off the end of the bat, and Kenny getting a good break on the ball and caught it on the dead run. 2 away, and Gary Carter to the plate. Carter a double his last time up along the right field line. Gary 1 for 2. He's bounced back to Zachry back in the 2nd inning. Zach delivers. Carter swings and fouls a off-speed pitch. Giants did not score in the first inning at Chicago. The Cubs at bat. They've completed 1 at Atlanta, no score. The Phillies and the Braves. New York will be at Houston. Dodgers 1, St. Louis nothing. After 1 inning at St. Louis, and the Pirates 6-1 over the Padres at Pittsburgh. Zach with a slider that gets completely away from him, on by Bench to the backstop. San Diego at Pittsburgh game. That's the first of a doubleheader. Bill Robinson, his 5th home run of the year in that one. Pitch to Carter, going outside, 2 balls to strike. Larry Parrish on deck. Now Carter backs away from the plate. Steps back in. 2-1 to count. 2 outs. The base is empty. Reds leading 6-1. Pitch on the way. Just low. 3-1 now. The second straight batter that Zach has had a 3-ball count on. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's popped up right side. Playable. Danny Driessen crosses the foul line, and he has it. And that's it for the Expos. They go down in order here in the inning, nothing across. And it's the middle of the 7th. The Reds 6, the Expos 1.
You found a place with plenty of space where nothing can go wrong. You're in the mood for fun and good food, and you brought Stroh's beer along.
Charlie, I thought we were going to have a party.
We are, Linda, we are.
But, Charlie, how can we have a party in the middle of nowhere? I don't see anyone around. Who's going to eat all this great food I prepared and drink all this Stroh's beer?
Just watch, Linda. You take 1 ice-cold can of Stroh's beer and...
Don't worry, cause no one's around. Throw a party and you'll be found. Anywhere, anytime, when fun's on your mind, it's Throw a Party time.
Look for Stroh's Stay Cold 12 packs or the Stroh case wherever you buy beer. And Stroh a Party, anywhere, anytime.
It's Throw a Party time.
The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
Reds leading 6-1. It'll be Morgan, Driessen, and Foster here in the 7th inning. Joe 1 for 3, but a big one is 9th home run of the year in the 3rd inning with Kenny Griffey at second base. Joe now with 31 RBIs. Will McEnany coming on in the 6th inning to face Pat Zachry after Geronimo had hit the opposite field homer. McEnany in his 26th appearance for the Expos owns a .332 earned run average. Won 1 and lost 1. Mac has 1 save to his credit. First pitch is strike to Morgan. And Mac has 1 save. He has no saves. There's a ball. 1-1 to Joe. Doug Flynn loosening up down in the Cincinnati bullpen. And we would imagine he'll take Joe Morgan's place, possibly. 1-1 delivery. Slider gets the outside corner. Called strike. 1-2. Reds scoring 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 6th. Pitch on the way. Down low with a curved ball. Count evens 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reds with 9 hits in the game. Make that 8 hits. McEnany has the sign from Carter. Here's the 2-2. Down low and a full count now to Morgan. Rogers worked 5 in the 3rd inning, allowing 7 hits. All the runs earned runs, 6 of them. There's ball 4 just under the knees, and Joe Morgan draws a walk leading off here in the 7th, and that'll bring Danny Driessen to the plate. 4th walk in the game. Rogers walked 3. For Morgan, that is his 42nd walk of the year. Now received 196 walks now, the overall of the club. Mack delivers, Driessen takes, strike called. Danny 0 for 3, but he's hit the ball hard. And that 0 for 3. McEnany delivers, Driessen swings and lines it foul down the right side into the seats. The count 0-2 now to Dan Driessen. Morgan at first base. Joe not with that good lead, so he's not going to go at all. The pitch Curve blowing outside, 1-2. Joe with 20 stolen bases. The Reds overall 74 stolen bases this year to this point. McEnany to the belt. He delivers. Check swing, and it's low again. 2-2. Montreal has played 2 doubleheaders this year. The Reds, of course, in their second. Mac delivers. Swung on, a bouncer. Frias. Cash. Perez, and it pulls him off the bag. Tony trying to stretch and stay on the bag, but Cash's throw to the home plate side of first base. Tony stretching for it, but could not quite stay on the bag. And we'll pause for station identification. This is the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
WLW Cincinnati. Hi, this is the music. This is WMNI-FM, Columbus, Ohio. After today's Reds game, and before you go to bed tonight, set your dial on Quad 100. Wake up bright and early in the morning to the Quad Father Show.
Oh, ball. George, 1 for 2 and a walk, has scored 2 runs. He had a double back in the second inning and scored his 10th double of the year. A fly ball to right in the third, walked in the 6th, and scored a run. Mac delivers. Check swing on an off-speed pitch. It's outside. Count goes 2-0 to Foster. Phillies have scored a run down in Atlanta, leading the Braves 1-0, second inning. Dodgers in the third, leading St. Louis 1-0. The Cubs have scored. They lead the Giants 1-0, second inning at Chicago. 2-0 delivery. Swung on and hit well to right field. Is it going to be enough? Valentine back. He is to the fence and makes the play. 2 away now, and that'll bring Johnny Bench to the plate. John has been on all 3 times up this afternoon. He walked in the second inning, walked in the 4th inning, and had a hit-and-run single in the 6th when the Reds picked up 3 more runs, leading at 6-1. John with Foster going at first base in the 6th inning, singled into right field. McEnany delivers. Bench takes low and inside a ball. One 1-0 on the way. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Tom Walker, a right-hander, throwing down in the Montreal bullpen. 1-1. Swung on, full foul off the third baseline. And goes the ball, 2 strikes to Bench. Driessen to first base, 2 out. McEnany to the belt. His pitch on the way, swung on and bounced to Perry. Short hopping, throwing the Cash to force a Driessen. That's it for the Reds here in the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. A runner left on base, and we've completed 7. The Reds 6, the Expos 1.
People say that money can't buy happiness, that everybody's got to pay his dues. Children have to go to school, and everybody's got to have shoes. Sometimes you need a little vacation or an extra room. Sometimes we need someone to turn to help us do the things we got to do. So-called capital, because we're here to see it through. Call us on the phone anytime you need a loan to help you do the things you want to do. So-called capital, because we're here to see it through.
Check the white pages of your phone book for the nearest office of Capital Financial Services.
totals for 7 innings show Montreal with a run on 4 hits, and the Reds 6 runs. They've had 8 hits. For Montreal, Larry Parrish lead it off in the 8th, and back for the action, Marty Brenneman.
Okay, thank you, Joe. A change at third base. Doug Flynn replacing Pete Rose. And Montreal will be coming with the bottom third of their order. Parrish, then Dawson, then probably a pinch hitter for Will McEnany. Zachry, with 7 exemplary innings of pitching, has allowed a run on but 4 hits. And has retired 5 batters in a row since Cash opened with that triple to right field in the 6th inning. Spiers ground out to second, got the only Montreal run across, and he was the first of 5 consecutive batters that have come and gone. Parrish 0 for 2 is struck out line to short, and Zachry jumping out quickly with a called strike on the inside corner. Raleigh Eastwick throwing for the Reds. This one low and outside, 1-1. Outfield playing Parrish straight away. He's hit 6 home runs this season. Swung on, lined over third. On into left field. Foster cutting it off. Here's Parrish taking a turn, and he'll put on the brakes. Good throw back into second by George, and I'll tell you that Parrish elected a chance that he may have been a dead duck. Good play out and left by Foster as he quickly went over to cut that ball off and came up firing to hold Parrish to a long single. Hit number 5 for Montreal. It brings up Dawson, who is flied out and grounded out to short. Zachry stretching and pitching. Dawson swinging and fouling. Del Unser, left-hand batter, on deck to bat for McEnany. Strike 1 delivery on the inside, strike 2 call. No balls and 2 strikes. Everything pretty much underway now in Major League Baseball, with the exception of the West Coast games involving American League teams, Cleveland at California and Toronto at Seattle. Infield, a double play depth. Zachry sends in the pitch, and this is swung on and hit well back in the left center field. Foster looking up. That's a home run. Andre Dawson clouding a 2-run home run to left center field to provide for Montreal runs number 2 and 3, and it's now a 6-3 game. Dawson homering for the 2nd time in this series. And his 5th home run of the season. Sparky Anderson looking down to that bullpen as Zachry has given up a single and a long ball to begin the Montreal 8th. Unser to bat for McEnany. Dawson in this series showing he's got pretty good power to all fields. He went to straightaway right Friday night and now takes one over the 375 marker in left center here in game 1. Unser waiting, and the pitch down low. Dell is batting .288 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. He's been a starter for quite a bit of this season. In fact, they were platooning at one time, Unser with Dawson in center field. Unser getting off to a tremendous start. 1 ball and a strike, then slumped off a bit. Dawson went in against both right-handers and left-handers and has been hitting so well that Unser can't get that platoon spot back. Swing, bouncing ball by the mound. Morgan will play it near second. Throwing, got him. That's out 1. Now Davy Cash as we move back to the top of the batting order. Cash is 1 for 3, a 6th inning 3-bagger to right field. County bench going out to the mound to talk with Zachry. Tom Walker has finished his work in the Montreal bullpen. He'll be on the mound when the Reds bat in the bottom of the inning. Pitch to the plate. Cash shows a bat but takes a pitch low. Flynn playing about even with the bag at third. Now backing up 1 more step. Blowing outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Red 6, Montreal 3, with 1 out and 2 runs home in the 8th inning. Strike at the knees, 2-1. Cash batting .284. And has had 4 hits and 9 times up here in Cincinnati. We'll be in Montreal next weekend, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday afternoons. Here's a swing and a line drive, right center. Griffey plays it on the bounce. So Montreal late here, beginning to zero in on Pat Zachry, and that base hit right there by Cash is going to get Zach out in favor of Raleigh Eastwick. Why? Because Sparky Anderson is on his way to the mound and signaling with his right hand before ever reaching the first base foul line that he wants to bring Eastwick on to face Chris Speier. Or Pepe Frias, the on-deck batter, and Zachry pitching very well for 7 innings. Gets a well-deserved round of applause from the crowd here at Riverfront, 40,000 plus. And Eastwick now trudging in from the bullpen in the hope that he can subdue the Expos the rest of the way and provide for Mr. Zachry his 4th win.
Marty, Pat pitched very well, I think. Of course, the home run hit by Dawson looked like a hanging pitch, breaking ball out over the plate. But overall, I think you have to say that Zach showed signs of his old self, the way he pitched last year. He made some excellent pitches, threw some good change-ups, and was throwing that slider like he did last year, spotting it pretty good through the first 7 innings down and away, down in the outside corner where he's so effective with it. So I think Pat showing signs of regaining his ability to be an excellent pitcher.
Raleigh Eastwick out of the Reds bullpen for the 22nd time. He has a record of a win. He's lost a pair and a .268 earned run average. He can pick up his 8th save as he loosens up with Johnny Bench. Zachry 7 1/3, giving up 7 hits, 3 runs. All of them earned, struck out 2. And what is interesting and impressive is the fact that he did not issue a base on balls in this game. So he had excellent control. Frias will be the batter. He came off the Montreal bench in the bottom of the 6th inning after their regular shortstop, Chris Speier, was forced out with a slight sprain to the right wrist. Frias, with a batting average of .091, has been up but 11 times, has had a base hit. Left-hand batter, Cash at first. Montreal trying to mount a late charge in this first game of a twin bill and get back in it. Eastwick set to go to work as he toes the rubber and checks in with Bench. Here's a stretch. And the pitch, Frias swings and fouls to the screen, a strike. Raleigh with his 22nd appearance, second on the club, and behind Pedro Bourbon, who's worked in 24 games, all in relief. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ellis Valentine in the on-deck circle. Eastwick taking his time, looking around the ballpark. Now to the bill of the cap, and now set to go with a 1-1 count on Frias. Stretching the pitch. Cut on a slow chopper, third base side. Up with the ball is Eastwick. He throws to Driessen to get the out as Cash moves to second base. Frias retired, Raleigh Eastwick to Danny Driessen, and now it'll be Valentine, who, among the 7 Expo base hits, has had a pair, 2 singles. Finally retired in the 6th inning when he bounced back to the box. Dodgers, Cardinals in the 3rd, still L.A. maintaining its 1-0 lead. Philadelphia 3-1 over the Braves in the 3rd inning, and boy, is Greg Luzinski on a home run tear. He had another one early today. Pitch for a ball. Hit a grand slam in the 1st inning last night, and cranked out his 13th this afternoon in the 2nd with nobody on. So we're going to be catching a very hot Philadelphia club as they come in tomorrow night to open up a 3-game series. Jammed him with a pitch, and he pops it out of play. From Eastwick to Valentine, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jack Billingham, Don Stanhouse, the second game starters, both right-handers. Eastwick a backward glance at Cash. Pitch, line drive. David at shortstop. He picks it off. In the inning, 2 Montreal runs on 3 base hits. They leave 1. And through 7 1/2, it's a Red 6 and the Expos 3.
When Doug McAnally goes to work as a roustabout in the Yates oil field in West Texas, he doesn't work alone. He gets together with other marathon men like Leon Gentry, Phil Lemons, and Ernie Galindo. And together they go about the business of getting crude oil out of the ground. Doug McAnally could work alone, but the job wouldn't get done as well, or at all, without the help of Leon, Phil, and Ernie. Because each of them can do something the other one can't, so they get together to do it better. A company's like its people, because it is people. When Marathon found oil, our oil people got together with some pipeline people, who got together with some refining people, who got together with some service station people, so we could do it better.
We got together to do it better. We're Marathon.
Marathon Oil Company. We got together to do it better.
Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Reds will be sending up the lower third of the batting order against a new pitcher on the mound for the Montreal Expos, right-hander Tom Walker. It's going to be Dave Concepcion, Cesar Geronimo, and Pat Zachry. The Reds now leading by 3 runs on Dawson's home run to left center field. And Walker becoming the 3rd pitcher to work in this one for Montreal. Rogers went 5 1/3, giving up 7 of the Reds' base hits and all 6 runs. And then McAnany, in an inning and 2/3 scoreless relief stint, allowed a hit and walked a batter. Davey has singled a run in, line to right, and had a sacrifice fly to get still another run home. Here's a pitch, and with Concepcion backing a step away from the plate, Eric Gregg calls strike. Here's a bunt attempt foul. This is his second appearance in this series for Walker. Friday night worked 2 innings, allowed 3 runs on 2 hits. He served up an 8th inning 2-run home run to Dan Driessen. David batting .310 on the strength of his 1-for-2 first game. Walker picks up the sign and sends in the pitch. Slow and away fastball, 1-2. Geronimo next up, and then will be Raleigh Eastwick. Both bullpens are quiet. Swung on and pulled foul, just foul at third base. Davey with a holding count of 1-2. Looking ahead to the Montreal 9th inning, they're going to be sending to the plate Tony Perez, Warren Cromartie, and Gary Carter. That's the meat of the batting order. David's broken bat, soft fly ball into shallow right field, and that's going to be off the glove of Valentine. Davey rounding first will hold. Boy, that bat came apart in Concepcion's hands, and a soft fly ball into shallow right, and Valentine, who had the long run, got leather on it, but that is all. And Cash going back and Valentine coming in. Davey becomes a base runner. That'll be a base hit, and for Concepcion, his second. Geronimo extended his hitting streak to 8 games with that 6th inning 2-run home run to left field. Strike is called from Tommy Walker. Walker, at one time in the Baltimore Oriole organization, turned in one of the most outstanding pitching feats in minor league baseball history when he pitched a 15-inning no-hit game. Now they've got Concepcion picked off. Davey caught dead in his tracks and never attempted to get back to the bag. Walker fired over there. Davey had one foot in the carpet and one on the sliding pit and never moved. It looked like he was frozen. Perez ran out to meet him and put the tag on him.
Marty, another embarrassing thing happens, but it looked like Davey might have twisted his ankle or knee when he rounded the bag on the base hit, and maybe looked like he flinched a little bit and then just couldn't react. So I don't know whether he has hurt himself or not.
Foul ball out of play, strike 2. Here's a pitch. Geronimo strikes out swinging on a high fastball. Strikeout 1 for Walker, and the batter will be Raleigh Eastwick. Six runs, 9 hits for the Reds, 3 runs, 7 hits for Montreal. Steve Rogers was their starter today in a bid to become the National League's first 9-game winner, but had to leave early when the Reds really went to work on him. Foul ball out of here to the right. So Mr. Rogers will have to wait to his next start in hopes of winning his 9th game of the year. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Cut on and miss, slow curve. Not a chance of seeing Rogers Friday night. In the opening game of that series up at Olympic Stadium. Eastwick behind, and the pitch is up high and inside, a fastball. 2 out, bases empty. Davey led off with a single, got picked off. Geronimo is struck out. Strike 3 call. That's the inning. The Reds, no runs, a hit. Walker with back-to-back strikeouts against Geronimo and Eastwick, and as we move to the 9th inning, the Reds show a 3-run lead at 6-3.
That melody you hear says that pleasure's near. Real beer lovers know that means Stroh's. So play that friendly sound, pass that great taste around, from one beer lover to another Stroh's. For more than 200 years, the Stroh family's been making great beer, taking pride in what they're doing it their own way, doing it the Stroh's way. So play that friendly sound, pass that great taste around. Real beer lovers know. Real beer lovers know that means Stroh's.
The Stroh Brewery Company, Detroit, Michigan.
If it's not convenient for you to get to one of the more than 60 Cincinnati Reds ticket agencies located throughout Reds country, we'd like to remind you that you may purchase seats to upcoming games without leaving your home. Here's how to order by mail. Box seats are $4.50, reserved seats $3.50. Send check or money order payable to Cincinnati Reds, Box 1970, Cincinnati. Include 50 cents with each order for handling. Check out the Reds schedule and order your tickets by mail. By the way, we will remind you that all seats have been sold for that Dodger doubleheader on June 26th, but plenty of seats are available for all other home dates. Eastwick, starting off the 9th inning, will be facing Tony Perez, who has gone 0 for 3. Tony, then Cromartie, and then Carter. Eastwick entering the game in the 8th in relief of Zachry to retire Frias on a bouncing ball out to the mound and getting Valentine on a line out to shortstop. Now the pitch to Perez. That's just high for a ball. Reds 3 outs away from their 28th win of the season. Swung on and hit off the top of the mound and carrying on into center field. Perez begins the 9th with a base hit. Montreal has their 8th hit, while in St. Louis, the Cardinals have tied things up against the Dodgers with a run in the 4th inning off Tommy John, 1-1, with L.A. batting in the 5th. We've got a pinch runner coming in for Perez at first base, Sam Mejia. Cromartie hitless in 3 trips, and with the leadoff single by Perez, Sparky Anderson instructs Pedro Bourbon to get ready. Flynn playing a step inside the front white line at third base. Cromartie with good speed. This one hit to left field. Here comes Foster racing back toward the warning track. Pulls up, and he could not play it. He can't find the ball. Here comes Mejias rounding third, coming to the plate. And going to second and holding there is Warren Cromartie. Boy, did Foster get fouled up. He broke first toward the line and then apparently realized that ball had something on it. And then broke back toward the warning track, got all crossed up, and had the ball hit off of his glove.
Artie, you're right. He really got tangled up out there. It looked like an easy play for George. He actually overran the ball. The ball looked like it was really going to curve away from him, and then it seemed to straighten out, and George just overrunning it, and, here we are in trouble.
That is the 4th Montreal run as Cromartie gets an RBI double out of it. Gary Carter at the plate with nobody out. He swings and hits one to straightaway center field. Hit it a bunch. Geronimo on the warning track makes the catch. Here's Cromartie tagging, coming on to third base, and he'll be in standing. Carter gave it a ride. Geronimo all the way on the warning track in dead center to bring down that blow. Batter will be Larry Parrish, with Cromartie at third, talking with Coach Ozzie Virgil. 1 down in the Expo 9th inning. The one thing this club does provide that they haven't been able to provide in previous years is some offensive punch. The Reds had what appeared to be a comfortable 5-run lead, but then Dawson homered with a man aboard in the 8th, and now they have scored 1 time in the 9th. And with 1 out, here is Parrish, 1 for 3. Eastwick from the windup. Parrish with a line drive, base hit to left field. In to score is Cromartie, and Montreal trails by a run. Well, the cascading boos that you hear in the background are directed at Raleigh Eastwick. And here comes Sparky Anderson to the delight of the crowd. He's going to go down to his bullpen and bring on Pedro Bourbon. RBI single to left field by Parrish scores Cromartie. It's now 6-5. As the Expos have scored a pair of runs in each of the last 2 innings, and Eastwick on his way to the dugout. Bourbon will be entering a game for the 25th time this season. His record, no wins and 3 losses and a .307 earned run average. So it will now be Bourbon who has the opportunity of picking up a save, and if he can do it, it'll be his 4th of the year. Well, we have the opportunity now, and we'll be passing along this information to our stations along the network line, that the time that you will have between games for local programming will be 8 minutes. Immediately following our game broadcast, of course, Joe will be back with Reds wrap-up. Then we'll be turning it back to our network stations for 8 minutes of local programming. That will precede Reds warm-up that'll come along from the stadium prior to the beginning of game number 2. Joe, we got to look to Bourbon now.
Well, we turned in 1 double play today, and make it 60, so let's finish the day with an odd number. This game with an odd number and double play. Like a little 6-4-3 or a 4-6-3 or whatever, as long as it adds up to 2 outs.
Pedro is going to be facing Andre Dawson, who started this Montreal rally an inning ago with a 2-run home run to left center field. Inning began with a base hit by Perez. Mejias came in to run for him and scored on Cromartie's double to left field. Carter fly to deep center, getting Cromartie to third. He came in on Parrish's hit to left. Now it's Dawson against Bourbon with the infield looking for the ground ball. Parrish leads at first, is stretching the pitch. Taken inside, ball one. A left-handed batter, Wayne Garrett, is on deck to hit for Tom Walker. Montreal a run down. Here's a fly ball hit to right field and hit well. That ball is off the top of the fence. Coming to third, Parrish. The throw to the infield at second base. The Concepcion will hold Dawson to a long single. And Montreal has a tying run at third base. We'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
This is WMNI FM, Columbus, Ohio, inviting you to join us for the earliest and most accurate farm report in Mid-Ohio. 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday with Ed Johnson and the Angler Broadcasting Network, including the exclusive farm weather report.
Andre Dawson powdering one high off the wall in right field. It missed by no more than a foot or so from being a home run. And it ended up just being a long single as Parrish moves from first to third base. And now it is Garrett, a left-handed batter, hitting for Walker to face Bourbon. 1 out, 2 runs home. Here's a pitch to the plate. Garrett swings and fouls it back toward the Expo dugout and caught by a young man sitting in the first row. Dale Murray is in the Reds bullpen and throwing. Parrish leading at third, Dawson at first. Pitch, Garrett takes it down and in. Count evens at a ball and 1 strike. The Expos with a tying run at third base. Bourbon an even count of a ball and 1 strike, and he sends it in. Garrett takes this one inside, ball 2. Garrett batting 167, 5 for 30, a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs. The infield back at double play depth. Bourbon stretches. He pitches. Dawson goes. Here's a line shot to center. Geronimo's got it. Throw to the plate, and let's see, it's not going to be in time. The tying run comes across on Garrett's line out to center field. Parrish beats the throw to the plate by just inches, and Montreal has tied it up at 6-6. Dawson was breaking on that pitch, and he had to quickly reverse his direction to come on back to first base. So 2 away, and Dave Cash will be the batter. Cash has had 2 hits, a triple and a single, and 4 times up. Strike is called. 5 runs in the last 2 innings have produced for Montreal a 6-6 lockup. Missing inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pedro taking a long look in the bench, now checking the runner at first. That pitch just missed low, a fastball, 2-1. Well, Steve Rogers off the hook. And some fine pitching by Pat Zachry. This one foul of the screen. With this Expo comeback means that Zach cannot get the win. This game now is in the hands of Pedro Bourbon. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cash, the 7th man to hit in the Expo 9th inning. Stretch the pitch, runner goes. Here's a foul ball on a high and tight fast one. Well, Dawson twice running here in the 9th inning. First time when Garrett lined to center. Sacrifice fly, and now on a 2-2 pitch that Cash fouls back. Well, you start thinking about the Cincinnati 9th inning. Doug Flynn, Ken Griffey, Joe Morgan. 2-2 and holding. And here's a pitch. This one grounded to third. There's Flynn behind the bag, and his throw is on target to Danny Driessen. In the 9th, Montreal ties it up with 3 runs on 4 base hits, 1 left. And after 8 1/2, the Reds 6 and the Expos 6.
You know, different folks have different ways to spend their time, enjoy their days. Me, I like to fish. I really do. There's something good about a lazy creek, Helps me relax from a long, hard week, like my Red Fox chewing tobacco, the relaxin' chew. It's soft and moist and mild for sure. The flavor's fresh. The taste is pure. Red Fox is best. I like it. Yes, I do. So I keep me an extra pouch of Red Fox by my side in my tackle box. When it comes to tobacco, those Red Fox folks come through. Why don't you try Red Fox? Look for it in the white pouch with the picture of Old Red taking it easy. Red Fox chewing tobacco. Now it's better than ever. So if you like to relax, and I'll bet you do, treat yourself to a Red Fox chew. Because, mister, taking it easy never tasted so good. Red Fox.
Well, we're in the bottom of the ninth inning, and something I'm sure the Reds never expected to be involved in, but Montreal, they had something to say about it. And they rallied for 2 in the 8th inning and 3 here in the 9th to tie the game up at 6-6, forcing a, what you would call, sudden death situation. New pitcher on the mound is Joe Kerrigan, a right-hander who gained a save last night. And some other changes for Montreal. Warren Cromartie has come in from left field to play first base. Sam Mejias remains in the game playing center, and Andre Dawson moves over to left. So 3 Montreal changes, not counting the pitcher. Cromartie at first, Mejias in center, Dawson in left, and Doug Flynn to begin the home half of the 9th inning against Kerrigan. The pitch, Doug swings and grounds one. By Cash, a base hit into right center field. Dougie going on the first pitch, and there's the winning run if we can get him around. We still have a game to play, and I'll tell you, the fans here have gotten their money's worth. This has been some kind of ball game. Griffey is double. He is single. He's up for the 5th time. Last night, Kerrigan pitched 2 innings, giving up a hit to record his 4th save. Now throwing to first as Flynn dives back into the bag. Kerrigan into his stretch, and he delivers. Kenny swings and fouls out of play. Bill Atkinson and Dan Warthen, a right-hander and a left-hander respectively, will get ready for Montreal. Parrish playing inside the bag and close to the line at third. Griffey, he wanted to butt, but that pitch was in and high. 1-1. Had Ray Knight loosening up down in our bullpen. The Reds and the Expos are tied at 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Flynn is open with a base hit, and Kerrigan throwing to first base. Ready with a 1-1 to Griffey. He started to go after it in a bunt attempt, but took the bat away as the pitch sailed in high. 2-1. Been 21 base hits in the 12 runs it has scored. Montreal has had 11. Now the 2-1 delivery. Griffey, that is up. Ball 3. Gary Carter, very concerned, walks the ball halfway out toward the mound, and in saying something to Kerrigan, delivers the ball back to the right-hander. A run scores now, and it's all over. 3-1 coming. Griffey swings and fouls it to the screen. Kenny was up there, obviously, with the idea of trying to get Flynn to second, but as Kerrigan fell behind on the count, 3-1, he got the green light, and in swinging away, fouled it back. Full count. Well, let's see if the Reds have any ideas about running Flynn. 3 balls, 2 strikes, quick throw to first. Griffey walking across the plate to the third base side to look down at George Sugar, and now indicates that he wants to talk to Sugar. Joe Morgan, the on-deck batter. Reds have not scored since the 6th inning when they got 3 runs, 2 of them on a Geronimo home run. Got 1 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, while Montreal started the road back with 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th to tie it up. The batter away from the plate, the pitcher away from the rubber. Now back on, and Kenny climbs back in. Let's see what Flynn does. He's going 3-2, cut on and bounce foul. Well, they send Flynn, but Griffey fouls it off, and Dougie coming on back to first base. This game in the hands of Kerrigan and Bourbon. Tommy Walker worked an inning for the Expos, gave up a hit, struck out 2. Now the 3-2 pitch. Nope, a throw to first base. Griffey leveling the bat, looking for his third hit. Waiting. There goes Flynn. Pitch is cut on, bounced over the mound, and backhanded by Cash, going to first. No! Base hit. Doug Flynn running. Cash went behind the bag to field it, had no play at second, and his throw was not in time to get Kenny. A base hit and 2 men are on. Dick Williams on his way to the mound, and he may bring on Dan Warthen, a left-hander, to face Joe Morgan. In fact, back-to-back left-handed hitters coming up, and Morgan and Driessen.
Artie, Dick certainly looking down, or did look down to the bullpen to see if Warthen is ready, but the way it looks right now, he's going to go with Joe Kerrigan, but probably discussing Morgan, and I would not think Joe will be bunting. In fact, I'd almost bet he won't be, but we'll wait and see what Dick Williams' strategy will be.
Well, Dick might be thinking about the problems control-wise that Warthen has had all year long. He's walked 38 batters in 35 innings. But the Reds have gotten a foot in the door here in the 9th inning. Flynn at second will be lifted for Ed Armbruster, getting speed for that lead runner, and that, of course, is the all-important winning run. Now it's Morgan to duel Kerrigan. Joe is lined to short, homered for 2, fly to right, and walked in the 7th inning. The Reds 6, the Expos 6. As the excitement continues to mount here at Riverfront. Kerrigan looking in to sight the sign from Carter. The right-hander with a pause. The pitch to Morgan, taken high, ball 1. Griffey, not important. The man at second base is, however, and Armbruster can run. Now the 1-0 pitch coming. Morgan swings, line drive, right field, foul ball. They came out of their seats on that shot. But premature reaction, as it turns out, because the ball goes foul. 1-1. Runners leading. Pitch coming. Inside with a fastball. 2-1. Warthen and Atkinson continue to throw. Morgan with a 2-ball, 1-strike count, and now time is called as the ball gets out of the Expo bullpen. Ozzie Virgil coming out of the Montreal dugout and waving to first baseman Warren Cromartie, moving him a step or 2 further away from the line. The pitch. That's strike 2 call. 2 men on, nobody out. If Morgan cannot do it, Danny Driessen will try. He's on deck. Carter sending out the sign. And the 2-2 delivery is just inside, and Carter and Kerrigan both thought that was strike 3. Let her high on the inside part of the plate. So run the count full, and Kerrigan, trying to get his act together, goes back behind the mound with hands on hips, a little bit disgusted, I'm sure, over the fact that Eric Gregcall went against him and his ball club. So the pitcher, far as he can go with Morgan, he kicks and he throws. 3-2 cut on, fly ball left field. Under and making the catch is Andre Dawson. One down as Morgan flies meekly to left, and now Danny Driessen will see what he can do about wrapping this one up. Driessen is hitless in 4 trips. Kerrigan in a pressure cooker situation, a third of the way home. And now working to another left-handed batter in Danny Driessen, who looks at the pitch up and away. Ball 1. 6th inning from St. Louis. Dodgers 1, Cardinals 1. Final score first game. Pirates beat the Padres 6-1. The 1-0 to the plate. Breaking ball low, 2-0. After Driessen, Kerrigan will have the advantage as he will be working then to right-handed batter George Foster. Danny hoping that will not be necessary. He's ahead 2-0 and takes this one high and inside, ball 3. One of the situations that a manager is paid for. Tie game, 9th inning, 2 on, 1 out, infield a double play depth, 3-0 count. Do you let the batter hit away? Let's see. Nope, he takes and he's on with a walk. Bases are loaded. So now George Foster can wear the laurel of hero. A man who at times this season has had severe problems hitting with runners in scoring position. Armbruster third, Griffey second, Driessen first. A big meeting on the mound breaking up involving Carter, Frias, Cash, and Kerrigan. Foster has doubled in 3 trips. He has walked and scored a pair of runs. The table set for the Cincinnati left fielder. 3 on, 1 out. Kerrigan to the rosin bag. A 6-6 lockup in the bottom of the 9th inning. George is in and waiting. Kerrigan will work from the stretch. And here's his pitch. That's a call strike. Base hit, fly ball, error, wild pitch, pass ball. A multitude of ways the Reds can score the winning run here. The strike 1 pitch on the way. That's in the dirt, and Carter did a nice job of blocking it and keeping it from going through. 1 ball and 1 strike. Montreal trying to send it to extra innings. The Reds are trying to end it in regulation. Runners lead at every base. A 1-1 count on Foster. Here comes a pitch. Cut on and popped out of play. Back into the seats, off to the right of the plate. So Foster trailing at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sparky Anderson, a man alone, down at the far end of the Reds dugout, leaning up against a railing. Armbruster off third, Griffey off second, Driessen likewise at first. Foster with a bat cocked, and here comes the pitch. Swung on hard, ground ball second. Cash comes to the plate, not in time, and this one belongs to the Reds. A hard ground ball hit to Davy Cash at second. He came up firing, but Armbruster beat the play at the plate. And in the bottom of the 9th inning, the Reds win it 7-6. We'll be back in just a moment.